Yeah, maybe we can just like close the eyes and to feel the breathing in this upper lobe of the lungs. Gently dropping the consciousness and the attention there. And feel how the breathing is happening there. Allow the cellular breathing to awaken in that area. So inside, in the very center core of the body, we go deep into the center of the body with our attention to find the organ of the lungs. And allowing the breathing from the upper lobe. The last time we played with sounding as well. So we can try this again. The same process as with the breathing, gently allowing the consciousness to fill the upper lobe and then letting the sound, any kind of sound, emerge. Allowing any movement to come and just playing with it. You can explore one side at a time, both of them at the same time. Noticing the differences between left and right. Mm. And also trying to initiate any kind of movement with this lung tissue. Feeling the sponginess, the fluidity of the lungs. Feeling how the lungs glide and slide around the heart. And how this upper lung, upper lobe is opening this upper portion of the thoracic cavity. Okay, turning our attention a little bit lower now. Pay attention to the middle lobe. You can place your arms underneath the armpit. This. Feeling this middle lobe. Allowing the breath to come into the middle lobe, into the sides, the lower part of the chest, and the side underneath the arm. Mm. And again, landing with a consciousness there and releasing the sound. Again, noticing the difference between left and right, and absolutely not rushing any kind of process. It's about gentle permeating of tissue and cells with consciousness, and allowing them to awaken in their own timing. And again, feeling the breathing in the middle lobe and how it widens us to the sides, and feeling the difference from the front lobe. Which opens up more to the verticality of up and down. And the middle lobes radiating to the sides. The lobes themselves can move and separate and glide between them. Usually there are lots of adhesions between them, but we can actually separate them and find the gliding between the lobes. Remember the fluid between the lobes, and invite the fluid to release, to go back from the state of stickiness into more fluidity, more gliding, sliding. And then we turn our attention to the back lobe, lower lobe. From the front, if you're noticing, it's only in the bottom of the lungs, from the front. But if you look from the back, you can see it's taking the most of the back. So if you can, it's not too easy, you can place the arms on the back and invite this feeling of breathing in the lower lobe, the back lobe. Inviting the feeling of the whole back body and this huge lobe which is covering most of the back, and how good it feels to breathe in into the back. Create space there, create more fluidity. And releasing the sound, if you will. inviting the gliding and the sliding of the back lobe. And how it communicates with other lobes. And now releasing the focus from the back lobe and just feeling the lung as a whole, as a unit of these three lobes, connected to the windpipe, connected to the mouth and the nose. Diving into the lung tissue and allowing the vibration of this beautiful organ, which is embracing the heart, to just to feel it, allowing the vibration to soak us. This feeling of connection with our lungs, this vital organ which is nourishing us, this precious organ. And also feeling the connection, how this organ is radiating into the limbs. Especially the arms, as if our arms, our wings are growing out of our lungs. And how the movement of our lungs is initiating the movement of the arms. Our lungs radiating into our wings. The lungs taking in the air for the wings. And the bones of the arms are dancing in their spirals. And also our fingers awaken as we explore the space around us with our fingers. Reaching into space, drawing the space towards us. But everything starts from the lungs and goes back to the lungs. It's like the lungs provide the energy, provide the energy of the movement, which then expresses itself in the arms through the spirals of movement. And how good it feels to feel that our arms are growing from our lungs. It's kind of like we become more wider. And then allowing both arms to connect through the lungs. So from the fingers of one lung through one side of the lung into the heart, into the other lungs, into the other arm. And we can sound from both lungs at once. Imagining that the sound is flowing through our hands as well. And throughout the whole time, you can feel how our lungs are hugging our heart. So our heart is in the middle and our lungs are protecting and holding our heart like a precious, precious jewel. And connecting this with the hands, just try to feel how it is when we open in our chest with our lungs and with our hands. It's like we open our heart, the lungs open up and allow the heart to go forward, and the hands widen. And notice with the same gesture when our lungs are folding over the heart and hugging the heart, how our hands dive towards the center. In this gesture of even embracing the heart or even embracing ourselves, if we let the spiral unfold to the end. So the same gesture of embracing ourselves embracing our heart, and the lungs embracing the heart and protecting the heart from the front, and the attention going inwards. And then the hands widening to receive, and the lungs opening, allowing the heart to move forward so that we can receive the world, the life. And just notice this natural reflex of condensing and expanding, receiving and giving, and how it translates in the movement of the lungs and their radiation into the arms. And the spirals of the hands producing all these gestures, always finding a way to fold, unfold, spiral in, spiral out, from the lungs and out of the lungs into the lungs, or should we say into the heart if we take the center point. And also invite the other limbs, the head as one limb, also in connection with the lungs, direct connection through the mouth, nose, and the windpipe. So, how are the lungs radiating into the movement of the mouth and the head? And the lungs radiating into the legs. So feel this variation, how we can connect the lungs and the legs, and feel especially how the back lobe, the lower lobe, what does it do for our grounding into the feet, into the legs. So this is the centering part of the body-mind centering, where we take a structure like the lungs and we put it in the center, and we allow everything else to organize in the organic, through the organic connection with that center. And we can add for the end also the connection of the tail with the lungs. So all limbs in a way informed by the vibration of the lungs. The arms somehow being the most prominent as the closest ones, but it's just about awakening the other pathways. And taking a little pause, just going back to cellular breathing, allowing the lungs to breathe by themselves without forcing anything, just living tissue, living and breathing. Feeding the whole body. With oxygen. The preciousness of the lungs, receiving nourishment, releasing the waste gases, hugging the heart, and just enjoying a little bit being with that. No coming, no going, just being in the breathing, in the tissue of the lungs. Accepting everything that rises, thoughts, emotions, feelings. Remembering that lungs come from the front body, endoderm, yolk sac, the nourishing, our initial nourishment, and just allowing the lungs to nourish us a little bit, to nourish any part of our body which needs a little bit more nourishment, a little bit more breathing. Every cell is connected with the lungs. And while the lungs are breathing, the diaphragm is also moving. Massaging the internal organs. And the belly is releasing, becoming more soft. Releasing our weight into the ground. Feeling our feet in connection with the ground. And slowly opening the eyes and allowing the space around us to enter our senses. Feeling how we can breathe in the space around us and breathe out. How through breathing the external and the internal are communicating and are really one. Separation is basically an illusion. Okay, making a gentle transition and ending the exploration. And you can take some time if you want to write something down or just process a little bit, and then we come back for the final sharing.